Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Phillip Siddiq Show. I am your host, Phillip Siddiq. We have been fortunate enough to grab these two directors of this wonderful film called the Soundtrack to 16, and they're from the UK across the water. So we had to work diligently. We had to put all our contacts in the water, in the air to get them to be on the show. This was, I believe, their world premiere at Cinequest 2021. And as you know, we cover Cinequest every year. And this one was very unusual because this was virtual. So, because last year we covered the last day when coronavirus was just starting, they were shutting down the airports, and we had actors and actresses who could not make it because they didn't know how they were going to get home. But through technology, we have the Shakespeare Sisters with us. So, ladies, tell us your names. And I know one of you was an engineer, or
Yeah, so I'm Hilary. I did study. Well, I studied physics and then computer science and robotics, but now I'm a filmmaker. So yes, come back around. And this is Anna.
I'm Anna, and I'm the younger sister. I studied German. It's not as interesting, really, as robotics. But yeah.
Okay, studied German. Do you like Rammstein?
Yeah. I'm more into like the German rap scene than like Rammstein, but they're good. They're good. Yeah. I've heard their concerts are quite wild, so I'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah, I was going to go. Yeah, I've seen the video footage and I love them. Even before I saw the concert footage. I mean, I just love, and only speaking maybe 4 words of German, I would listen to the music and then put a picture in my head because I'm a filmmaker too. And I create all kind of pictures and not understanding German. And then when I saw the video, I'm like, whoa, I was way off. I was way off there. Tell us about your film. How did you guys put this film together? Because as I said, it's a very heartwarming film. And I think even people who look at it through the lens of an American can still touch on the universal themes of your film.
Yeah, so we were talking about this at Cinequest, how like the American and English experience of school is quite different. But this film, Soundtrack 16, it focuses on the year of school where you're 16, where you have your A levels, which are the kind of most savage like British exams. So that's kind of like the climax of the film. It's like building towards these exams where you really need to do well to kind of like, well, at least, you know, in these kids' heads, it's like the biggest thing they've done yet, and they really have to do well on them. So that's kind of one of the main kind of worries in their lives. And then there's also like the romance. The main girl is at an all-girls school, which is quite based on our experience. We went to an all-girls school as well. And she's very obsessed with like meeting boys. Like boys are kind of such an alien concept to her. She's just totally obsessed with just like, oh, if I could just bump into a guy.
Because she doesn't know like any at all.
Yeah. So she's desperate to have a first kiss. And so that's kind of a big theme in the film as well. Like her like trying to find someone to have this first kiss with. And she becomes very good friends with Ben, who's the other main character. And it's kind of them juggling this friendship, their exams, kind of liking each other and not knowing how to say it. So it's very kind of awkward teen romance set in Britain, where we have even more awkwardness than I think you guys.
Now, how much of this film was based on your childhood growing up? Either sister how much of this film was based on your childhood?
Yeah, quite a lot of it. Like I think pretty much everything that happened in the film either happened to one of us or happened to like one of our friends or something. I mean, it's not exactly in the way that it's in the film, but it's like all these little events that we've sort of pieced together into a storyline. But like Anna said, we both went to an all-girls school, so we didn't know any boys basically, and like that whole thing of not having had your first kiss and being 16 and super embarrassed about it was like definitely what I was going through at 16. And yeah, like the stress of exams, I think is something probably everyone's experienced a bit, and like the mean girls Yeah, it's all kind of based
Yeah.
on things that happened to us.
Yes. The Halloween scenes, the one specific scene in the Halloween scene, I just laughed my head off when not the youngest girl, but like the middle-aged girl was talking to Macy, and they were talking about a first kiss. I just fell out my chair when the little girl teased her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my first kiss already, and she was 10 or something. So yeah, that was good. Casting the film. Where did you find these two wonderful actors? They are those particular roles. It's like they 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 are the essence of those of Macy and Ben. Where did you find them?
We kind of just advertised and posted on a bunch of casting websites, and they came to audition for us. And yeah, we got really lucky. Like we saw quite a few people, I think, but they just really stood out as being right for the characters.
And we had them like read out the monologues. I think that was the first thing they both did for the auditions. Like Scarlett, who plays Maisie, read out the kind of biggest turning point in her story, the scene where she can kind of gives away that she hasn't had a first kiss, and she just did that so well. And then and then Ben kind of Gino for Ben read out his kind of main kind of breakdown monologue. So we definitely gave him like the hardest bits, and then we were like, if you can do that, then I think you can do it. So yeah.
What was the shooting schedule for this particular film?
It took about 3 weeks. So it was quite short. At the time we felt like it was like crazy rushed, but actually in hindsight, having shot another film since, it was even more rushed. I think we actually realized shooting the second film how it was actually quite well paced. So it was kind of, I don't know, it was mostly filmed like around like a lot of it was in the school, so there wasn't too much location changes. But then also I think weirdly enough we were like, because we were filming it in the summer, and most of the actors were in their last year of school, so a lot of them had like summer plans before uni. And I remember like trying to arrange a schedule around all these like lads holidays of like exam schools out, lads holiday. So I think our main limiting factor was like the availability of the actors, even though they just
It was like, I'm gonna Mazzy or like Malia. Yeah, it's funny.
Now, have you screened the film in the UK yet?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I meant to say, yeah. So we have done some festivals in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was I guess kind of made sense to us to do like the UK first, because obviously that's where the film's set and everything, and we want to see the cast to see it first and everything. So that was a really great experience.
Yeah, and luckily we kind of got to do all that before everything shut down. So that was really nice that we did get to see it with an audience before everything had to go virtual. So
that was the next question. Now, before you showed the cast, you two have to look at it from editing the music. How did you two feel when it was all coming together?
I think you probably get this as well, as you say, you're in films, but I think you start to lose track like of what is, I guess, even, whether it's getting better, whether it's getting worse, whether any of it makes sense. Like I think once you've been looking at it for so long, it is really difficult to know. Like, I mean, we when we did the music as well, and this was a big mistake, I'd never do this again, but every time we changed like a song or we added a little bit of score, like the composer sent us new score, we'd watch the entire film. And so like we just watched it so many times that like I would notice we were saying we were watching the film, and I just look over at Hillary and she's on her phone, I'm on my phone, and we were like, oh, neither of us are watching it.
So it felt like we needed to see it in context to know if it was really working. But then I think actually we did just numb ourselves to the film to the point where we couldn't watch it anymore. Like it wasn't going in.
And I remember saying to one of my friends, I was like, the only pleasure from watching that film is knowing Hillary's suffering through it too. Because we were just so sick of seeing her and stuff again and again. But like now I think I could watch it because I haven't watched it for like a year or something. So I think I'd actually enjoy it. But but then I was just like, I was so tired of it.
Now, showing it to the cast and the crew, what was their response like? And how was their response when they saw it, how did that make you feel that we put this together? It all came together.
I think showing the cast and crew was definitely the scariest screening we've done, because we've been like, I guess we've seen it with an audience maybe quite a few times now actually before lockdown, and I think every time it's a bit scary, but that first time was like, we felt like we were on a roller coaster. We were like holding hands in the back, like, I think because if they'd hated it, I mean, first of all, that was the first time we'd screened it to anyone other than like our friends, and yeah, and also like it felt like if they didn't like it, it was going to be awful because they need to be on board, you know. So yeah, that was terrifying, but I think it went down well.
Yeah.
And then I think actually with them, it was more clear that it went down well the first time we watched it with an audience at a festival, because they were just laughing the whole way through. They were enjoying it, whereas I feel like the cast and crew are all just as nervous as us. So the nervous energy in that room at the beginning is just like,
yeah. Yeah,
like they don't want to be, you know, they don't know if it's going to be good until they've seen it. So I think they're all just like terrified. So the atmosphere in the cinema was like terrified. And then I think it was like they were laughing and stuff. So it was like, oh, thank God they do like it. But it was just much easier watching it with like a festival audience. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually ask that to just say, well, when the final scene is cut, it's on the big screen and the actual people are in it. How do they feel about watching themselves on the big screen? So did any of them get real? Are any of them, I guess, moving on to bigger and better things, or because the kids you chose, they have a lot of talent. They really do. I mean, even with some of the looks that they gave, it's like it looks like they're, quote, really, really doing this in real life and not just a script or anything like that.
Well, Gino, who plays Ben, he's started his own company, which is cool. And they did some short films with the BFI, so that was quite cool.
BBC.
Oh, was it BBC? Oh, okay, sorry.
BBC.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, and then he was like starring in it and writing some of their own stuff as well. And so yeah, they've all gone on to do quite different things. Some of them are kind of in theatre more now. Some of them are stayed in film, but yeah, it's been quite a variety.
Yeah, I hope they get to
work with us.
Work with us again as well.
I mean, I hope we get to work with them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Great. All of you were great. The music, how was the music chosen? Because I liked all the music you had in it, and the last song on the closing credits, I had to go on Spotify to find that song. That's like that's my new favorite song right now.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, I do. I love all the songs in our soundtrack so much. Yeah, we were really lucky because we got to. I mean, I guess we spent a really long time finding them. Actually, I mean, kind of the music that inspired the film was that kind of like noughties, like kind of skater music, like Blink-182 and stuff. And that's what we were listening to when we were writing it. And then we thought we're never going to afford that soundtrack. So we wanted to find like indie artists that had like a similar sound and reminded us of that period of time. So yeah, it took quite a lot of like trawling through Spotify and like getting in touch with people and advertising, and then some people came to us with their music. And
I remember I was really excited when like the first because we put all these like ads out, and then the first like person who emailed us, and then we listened to their music, and I was like, oh my God, this is actually good. This is going to be okay. Like, because we'd never put together a soundtrack before, and that was really exciting. And I think as well, as you said, at the end song, it's so important. Like sometimes I'll watch like quite a bad film with a good song at the end, and it's almost like you feel so good that it can be good. And then, you know, sometimes you watch films where the credit song is just really dead and it almost convinces you it's a bad film. So I feel like it's just such an important like feature to have something good at the end there. And yeah, we were really lucky with that credit song.
Yeah, I like that song. So that's my current favorite song right now. Matter of fact, I have it on my right here. It's on my phone.
Oh, nice.
I can listen to it and remember the soundtrack of 16.
I've got a playlist on the SoundCloud actually, if you want to find the rest of them.
Yeah, it's on the website, so the whole playlist is on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, my. See, you learn something new every day, you guys. Something new every day on the Phillip Siddiq show. Last question: challenges for the film. I mean, financial, personal? Would you share that, how you got over the challenges and to make this film what it is today?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, finishing a film, I think is really hard. Like, starting it is the fun part. Shooting it's really fun, and then kind of just like admitting that it's finished, I think is really hard. Because it's just hard to kind of make that decision. Like, every tiny change you make, it does feel like it makes it better, and then by the end you just got to like call it a day at some point. But I think we kind of struggle with that a bit, partly because everything we were doing was making it better, so it's like, oh, why stop? But then also at the end of the day, it was like, we need to bring this out. Like, we can't spend like any more months editing. And we were just like, I think that was, and also like kind of the fear, because it's our first film, you have like that fear of like, will, as we're saying, will the cast like it, but will everyone like it? What if they don't like it? Will I be able to handle that? And yeah, that was kind of a bit of a challenge, I'd say. Do you have anything to add? Or
I know, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I guess I think the general part for this film was like the post-production was probably the biggest. Yeah, just like, well, like you say, getting it finished. It was quite a like reasonably long period between finishing it and like finishing shooting it and finishing the post-production, because also we were at university at the same time, so we were trying to like juggle our degrees and getting the post-production finished. So it was just a bit of a difficult process, but it's hard to like pinpoint exactly why.
Oh, last question. How did you celebrate, and where were you when you celebrated?
Well, when we finished it, or
we did have, I guess, like, I think our first celebration was probably
Ben,
we like watched the final grade in the grading suite with the other producer Ben, and then after we just went for like a glass of prosecco at the nearby restaurant. So that was quite a medium, like a small celebration. But we had a huge party actually after our like first festival screening. That was really nice, and we had like a band play and like kind of, that was nice. We made it like a kind of school disco vibe kind of party.
Yeah.
So
we had like a big poster, and then had all the like kind of like naughties kind of memorabilia there, so everyone like took pictures with like,
had like a bit of a photo booth thing.
It was quite fun.
Well, believe me, I am so happy I got an opportunity to see this film, experience this film, because as I said, it was so very touching. And not many films take me back to when I was little and trying to get, like you say, the first kiss from the first girl, and all those feelings of, should I move in or should I not? Or, all those thoughts that run through your head. I mean, Macy, she had a lot of thoughts in her head. She had a lot of stuff going on in her head, but I think you guys did a damn good job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Really. So, but we end this interview, you guys. Soundtrack 16, we have just our guests, Anna, Elizabeth, and Hillary. Last name is Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we're the Shakespeare Sisters is our company.
Okay. I gotta ham it up. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether come to bury poor York or anyway, something
Good try.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for being on the show. And hey, good luck in the future. If you have another project, hey, remember, we on this side of the pond, we like seeing good stuff too.
Oh, thanks so much for having us. It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you both.